One of my favourite places to grab a coffee in Dublin is Bua. It's one of these kind of COVID coffee trucks that popped up and it's kind of developed into this bit of a social hub. I'll always find myself being drawn back to social fabric. It's just a beautiful place to go. They always have consistently good food there. Bar 1661. So I love watching them make the cocktails, shake it up, garnish it, serve it. Howth village itself is a lovely little kind of seaside town. The Gravity Bar up on the top floor of the storehouse, and it's just an amazing place, an amazing view of Dublin City. Definitely visit Temple Bar and take in what's there. My advice would be to try your best to see other parts of the city. Brian Fenton, this is my Dublin.
It has to be Tang on Abbey Street. You can't beat their flatbreads with the chickpeas and spicy chicken. It's Irish owned, great food, great people. Shoe Lane beside Tara Street train station. It was close to Trinity where I went to college. They have nice croissants, fruit scones. If you're ever looking for a quiet place to go and chat with your mates, the Snug in Chaplin's has to be the go-to. Lovely old interior. Just have to get the dart out to Vico Baths, bring the swimming togs, go for a dip, and you get a lovely view of Killarney Bay. The Epic Museum, I think it's something nice to just figure out the history of the city. You have to go and visit a GAA or hurling or camogie game. It's the most amazing atmosphere. It's going to be an unforgettable experience. Cian O'Sullivan, this is my Dublin.
It's the second part of a double-header this Friday night in the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin Senior Football Championship. It's Kilmacud Crokes who are looking for a fourth title in a row this season up against Skerries Harps. Coleman Goggins with me for this one. Coleman, what are you expecting from it?
Yeah, these teams met in the Championship last year. There was only a goal between the sides. Skerries probably put up some good performances during Championship last year, albeit didn't manage to progress out of the group. You know, Kilmacud Crokes are Kilmacud Crokes. They're going to be always a name to watch out for when it comes to Dublin Championship. They've guys missing tonight in the likes of Shane Walsh, who's not tugged out. Don't think Cleo Clancy's going to start either, which leaves them a bit light maybe in terms of some of the experience. But then when you say light, the replacements are people of the likes of Michael McMullen coming into the team. So you've plenty of experience if you are down those players. You know, on the reverse side of that, the likes of Skerries, you know, your squad is your squad. You don't really have the huge numbers that Kilmacud Crokes have to fall back on. So what you're hoping is your first 15 are able to give a performance to a point, and then what your substitutes bring in can have an impact. Whereas Crokes expect everyone to be at a level regardless of what number you're wearing on the field of play. So look, there's always going to be a lack of intensity in the opening round of the championship because guys are just getting a feel for it. There's injuries, guys have been away, there's guys coming back. Not everything is 100%. So this is just to, lay the marker, get yourself up and running and get the 2 points on the board. You'd expect Kilmacud, with the talent they have in terms of scoring prowess, to see it out. Sometimes that's not often how it plays. And then for Skerries, is it a free shot? Just go out and see what happens and see if you can get a result.
Skerries in the blue, Kilmacud Crokes in the purple and gold. Skerries do have some players to watch, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They have scorers, so they ball inside. The full forward line is fairly potent for Skerries. They have a midfielder there in the shape of Killian McGuinness, who's able to get on ball and orchestrate. Greg McEnany at 11, while he might be more renowned as defender when he's involved with the Dublin senior setup, he certainly has the power to cause problems going forward if he can get on the ball as such. So really what you're hoping for is, can we compete with Kilmacud around the middle third? Can we get enough ball that then gives opportunity to get it into that inside line? So the household names are potentially all in purple and yellow today, but Skerries in the blue are going to have an opportunity if they can get enough ball around the middle of the field to really go at that full back line. And with Theo Clancy out, Michael McMullen certainly talented, but the two sides of him either side in terms of James Murphy and Anthony Quinn, maybe Skerries can get at that if they get enough ball.
Players breaking off into their positions. Our referee is Sean McCarthy. Don't forget, for everything that's going on in Dublin GA, check out the Dublin GA website or go to the social media channels: X, Instagram, Facebook, and your favourite, Coleman, TikTok.
Thought you were going to say Bebo.
MySpace.
Oh, I finger on the pulse. I'm well in touch.
Referee just checking out the football. He's happy enough with it. And now telling everyone to get back into their positions where they're supposed to be. Sean McCarthy getting us underway. Kilmacud Crokes, as we were saying, 3 in a row champions, but that counts for little at the start of a season. Everyone starts at the same point. Hugh Kenny. Cian O'Connor. Rory O'Carroll. Still doing it after all these years. Hugh Kenny making a light run down the right as Mark O'Leary. Instead it goes to Ben Shovlin. Making a looping run, Cian O'Connor. It's a fast run as well to the end line. Skerries getting back in their numbers. Crokes staying patient. Here's Craig Diaz. The first shot comes from Crokes and the first score comes from Crokes, and it's off the boot of Paddy O'Connor.
Yeah, great score, well worked. They got inside, then came back out again to create the space. Good bit of pressure from Greg McEnany, try and get a block on it, didn't manage to get it. Skerries have 3 guys up all the time, so while they're back working hard defensively, they're not pulling everyone back. They're still leaving up 3, 2 inside, 1 out in the 45. Be interesting to see if they're able to. They are trying to create the space. Can they win the ball to leave it inside to the lads?
And Crokes win that break. It's Paddy O'Connor who's had an eventful 1 minute so far. They're going on the counter-attack. It's Owen O'Connor Flanagan who can really move with the football. This is what Skerries Harps do really well. Paddy Kelly. Crokes get back in their numbers. Stephen Smith. Greg McEnany. Ronan Gagan. Greg McEnany wants it. Just one of those players who always looks calm and composed and always looks like he's got a bit of time on the ball. Runs on the inside shoulder of Shovlin. Popping up beside him, Sean Rocks. Sean Rocks. Good block down. Getting back to make that block down. Paul Mannion.
Yeah, well, look, we've seen that as part of his game over the last number of years. A guy getting back doing the defensive work, and the way the game is now, you can't afford to have a guy who's going to stand and not do the work great. Great run in terms of a push forward from Sean Rocks, but great covering from Paul Mannion to get a block on. Gives the old cool boy a chance here from the 45. Someone is to blame for this goalkeeper going up taking 45s, but the fact that it works probably makes perfect sense as the lights go on.
Well, you can say it to Stephen Cluxon, it's all his fault.
I'm not yet.
Shane Walsh is here tonight, by the way, but he isn't togged.
Unlucky, looked like it was dead on and just tailed off at the end there.
Football is crazy and it's cruel. If Galway had managed to get that extra score and brought it to extra time or squeezed it out, everyone would be saying, well, you know, Shane Walsh, he plugged away, he kept going even when it wasn't looking good. But because they didn't win the game, people look and they say, well, he played poorly. It's mad how you can reflect on the same facts differently. Crokes looking to double their lead and not managing to do it. That coming from Shane Cunningham, wearing number 27 tonight rather than 15. My point is Walsh is an incredible talent, and we will see that throughout the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin Senior Football Championship, and Galway no doubt will see it again as well. Rocks. Running onto it, Gilmore. Gilmore with that skipping foot pass. A little bit too much on it. Craig Diaz couldn't get it under control. Line ball to Skerries Harps.
Yeah, so very, very clear what they're trying to do. So they're pushed right up outside the 45. They win the break or the kick out. They're then trying to feed it into the 3 inside. Bad touch.
A rarity from McEnany, but they kind of get away with it because it comes to Adam Fearon. Greg McEnany had to look forward, decided to go backwards. So Conor Flanagan. Will they get a shot off? They will. Will they get a score? They won't.
Yeah, not a bad start though. They're probing. They're trying to get at them. Just a couple of wides. They're pulling it on the other side. The wind that we spoke about in the first game has probably died off a little bit. The flags have gone limp, so there's probably less of a support to Crokes attacking up the field.
Horan lays it off. Anthony Quinn popping up from cornerback. He's still up there. Missed his last one and unfortunately misses his next one as well. It's Shane Cunningham. He's annoyed with himself.
Yeah, 2 wides apiece. So everyone, Skerries is inside, the 65 bar 1, and then there's a huge space behind them. So if they can create a bit of space and move the ball quick enough, there's definitely opportunity to feed the 3 guys inside.
Greg McEnany moves. Finds the pass. Stephen Smith. Stephen Smith looking for the run of Ethan Dunn. Dunn gets it under control, granted at a tight angle, shoveling all over him. Stephen Smith. Kieran Murphy had to go backwards. There was nothing on, but they do keep the ball and they keep it moving quickly. Sean Rocks. Stephen Smith. Smith follows it. He wants it back. He doesn't get it back. Jack Smith turns. Jack Smith puts it onto his right and just didn't quite catch it right. You'd expect him to score from that kind of position.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. A lot of stuff to be positive with. Just can't seem to get the range right in terms of scoring opportunity or a score dropping over the bar for them, I should say. But again, Kilmacud Crokes, you see it so often, they're so good at getting back bodies, getting a hand in, making it more difficult. So they're just applying pressure at the right time. Turnover here.
Craig Diaz was pickpocketed. Comes to Jack Smith. Smith moves it on. There's a potential goal on for Kelly. That's a fantastic goal by Paddy Kelly. Well, they had been threatening. It took a few minutes to sharpen their touch, but it's very sharp and it's a real cut to Crokes.
Yeah, I think David Higgins would be disappointed in goals. Got a hand to it, but didn't get a strong hand on it. But the turnover came off Craig Dias, and in fairness to Skerries, they turned it, went at it with a bit of pace. He went for the goal and got his just reward. So the 3 wides, while they'd be unhappy with, they'd be delighted with that goal.
It was an unusual finish by Paddy Kelly, an effective one, but on the left and dropping it onto the right, got plenty of spin on it. Crokes looking to respond. Shane Cunningham sets it up, and it is buried by Hugh Kenny.
Well, you always say after goal you're kind of trying to hold on just to give yourself an opportunity, but great stuff. It turns inside, Horan sees the chance, Kenny turns back inside, roofs it. All of a sudden the goal is turned over back into a point lead for Kilmacud Crokes, but that's the power they have up front, the goal opportunity. Half a chance turns into a full chance, Kenny buries it. Back to where we were.
Mannion did well in the lead up, gave it to Cunningham. Cunningham setting up Kenny, who kept a cool head and just absolutely, as you say, roofed it. Crokes win the break. It is Hugh Kenny, the goal scorer. Dara Mullen. Paddy O'Connor calls the mark. Well, Crokes had an extended campaign last season. I was at their game in Newry against Glen. I can't say I saw it. Just to jog your memory, that was the day of the fog. Were you at that game?
I wasn't at that one, no. Good start from Paddy O'Connor, comes into the team. He's
it's intercepted. Shane Horan gives it off for Paddy O'Connor, who's had a really good start. And that start continues. O'Connor with his third, 2 from play and a mark.
Yeah, great stuff from Paddy O'Connor. Driving through there, the kick out so important in the modern game. So Crokes are very happy to go man-on-man here, really put the pressure on the kick-out. So are you good enough to win it? If you are, well then we'll try and defend against you. But rather than just conceding it, they're really putting a press on.
O'Carroll attacked it and did well. Horan, who has played for Offaly in the past. Down the line it goes. Paul Mannion. Mannion shuffles inside. Mannion sidestepping. This is beautiful from Mannion. Mannion crossing. Kenny could be on for a second goal here. Settles for a point.
Yeah. It's a matter of seeing what mood Kilmacud Crokes are in terms of where they're going to go at it. They've started this at a lightning pace. You can see with Mannion the work rate he did in the block he got early on in the game. He's then the other end of the field trying to set up a score, picks out Kenny. And as I mentioned, this is where they're putting the squeeze on, kick out, really working Skerries hard.
Greg Mack won the break. Finds his teammate. Stephen Smith was there as an option. Jack Smith doesn't need him right now. Does try to look for him, breaks back to him, comes to Adam Fearon. And unfortunately for Skerries, that's wide. That's 4 wides from shooting opportunities I have for Skerries.
Correct, yeah. And, you know, scoring opportunities, which is the main thing. So they're not half chances. They're definitely opportunities they should be trying to take. It's 1-4 to a goal. They've 4 wide. So it just goes to show you how critical those misses could be when you're looking at it in the context of the game. Crokes with 2 wides. Just 10 minutes on the clock.
Mark O'Leary finds his intended target and he carries in that intended target is James Murphy. Here's Rory O'Carroll. Back outside. Mark O'Leary. Dara Mullins in open country. Cunningham. Mannion. Shovlin. Cian O'Connor. James Murphy got tackled, lost the ball, got it back, much to his credit. Cian O'Connor. Shovlin's making a run. He's now covered, but he kind of changes the angle of his run. Doesn't go to him anyway. It's Dara Mullen. Dara Mullen. Wide.
Yeah, great patience on the ball. Just lacked a bit of execution, but Skerries in. Trying to stick to what their game plan is. They're still keeping the 3 guys up front. They're putting pressure one-on-one when those opportunities come. There's just a little bit of extra quality up front for Crokes where other teams might turn around and go back. Crokes are fully committed to driving forward.
Rocks with the kick out. Finds his man. It was a good kick out.
Brilliant kick out.
Ethan Dunn collected it, sends it down the line for Paddy Kelly, the goal scorer, to run onto. Breaks, well, I was going to say breaks kindly for Crokes, but there was nothing lucky about it. They made it break.
No, it was a great tackle by Craig Dice. He waited and waited and waited. There was probably too many steps taken going in. Turnover, bad pass over the sideline. But reached his hand in. So sideline ball will suddenly be moved in. Knocked over the wall by James Murphy, I think it was, who stuck a boot on it. Or maybe just simplifies the scoring opportunity. Important for Skerries to try and knock it over the bar. They've had 4 shots at goal for points, missed all of them. They've ended up with a goal from that one chance.
Stephen Smith lining it up. And Smith guides it over. And for all we've talked about Crokes dominating this game, Skerries are only 3 down. And they look like they have scores in them. They just need to tighten up the shooting a tiny bit. Yeah, well, the 2 scores that came, one was a turnover on Craig Dias that led to the goal, and the second one is a line ball that's kicked over the wall that's brought in. So it's a couple of indiscipline, I suppose, from Crokes, or maybe a lack of thought in terms of what they're giving away is giving Skerries scores. But they're still creating, back on the ball. Well, as you said, a close game between these 2 last year. No reason to believe this won't be the same. And it's a little closer again now. That was a good run and a good score. Killian McGuinness.
Yeah, brilliant. He got a few games with Dublin obviously earlier in the year. Was probably unlucky not to see more game time during Championship, but he's well able to kick points left and right. Has an impact in the middle of the field if they're able to get a squeeze on kick out here and picked up again.
Fearon moves it on, waiting for it there was Gilmore. Skerries with a bit of momentum behind them. Gilmore shovels it onto Smith. Smith Three around him, but gets his pass away, collecting it as Dunn. Dunn moves it on. What a goal! Owen O'Connor Flanagan at the end of the move to finish it off. And it's all square.
Great.
In fact, it's a 1 point lead for Skerries.
Yeah, that goal just puts them up by one. Great move, brilliant cut through. Every player looking to pass the ball on, shovel it on, passed inside, and then he sticks it into the net. But again, a great move through the hands there. So we've seen, we mentioned it early on, that they've got at Crokes, they've penetrated, just haven't managed to score the points. A couple of great passes there. They got a half chance, stuck it into the net, point up. Despite Crokes, as you rightly said, dominating, kicking the scores, making things look a bit easier. Skerries have stuck to the game plan. 2 kickouts that Kilmacud Crokes lost from their own kick. David Higgins lost a couple of them. You turn over the kick out, you hand it over. Skerries are showing they're capable of getting scores.
Skerries aggressing on the Crokes kick out here, I think it's fair to say. That was a confident and important take by Dara Mullen. And it's moved forward because McGuinness grabbed it when he shouldn't have. Cushion forward by Horan. Finds his man, he takes and turns. It's Paddy O'Connor. Paddy O'Connor moves it back to Mannion. Paddy O'Connor, who kind of moves a bit like Mannion and Shane Walsh. You can see the influence. Back to Mannion. Mannion. Dropped it short. Oh, keeper spills it. Cunningham couldn't quite get to the end of the break. And Skerries defend it well in the end.
Yeah, goalkeeper did well. Got underneath the ball, just dropped short on Paul Mannion. But again, great press from Skerries. They've come with a game plan. They're set up to go at Kilmacud in a certain way, and that's the way they've taken the games in this opening quarter hour.
Running it through the middle is Sean Rocks. Big purple wall there, but kept his head, got the pass away. Behind Fearon, who's got work to do. Diaz pounces and Diaz puts it out for a line ball. In fact, it came off the Skerries man last and it would be a line ball to Crokes.
Yeah, I think he just passed on it a bit early there. Ethan Dunn, he could have held on to the ball. Diaz committed to go and try and meet the wing back. Adam Fearon, if he'd held on to the ball, he probably would have turned into open country. Instead, Crokes are on it.
Mannion picked out the pass beautifully. It's Hugh Kenny. Hugh Kenny looking for Cunningham. Slips through the hands of Cunningham. He got a bit of a break there because the ball had actually gone through his hands and was away, and then the push came.
Yeah, you're right. I think he'd already lost it before the push came on him. You'd often not see it given as such. If you look at it again, yeah, I think he's fortunate enough to get a free off it, but referee obviously did see the hand. Gives Paul Mannion a chance to open his account. Great opening to the game. We maybe spoke a bit about a lack of intensity in the opening game that we watched here between Raheny and Nafina, but both teams have gone at each other here, both setting up a little bit differently in terms of how they're going about the game, and it's an intriguing battle so far.
Mannion looking for his first. And finding it. And now we are level. Done. Diaz wins it back brilliantly. Had Mannion as an option, goes a little longer to Cunningham. Cunningham back to Paddy O'Connor. Paddy O'Connor spots the run of Mark O'Leary. Good hand in there, good defending. Ronan Gagan doing very, very well. O'Connor Flanagan. O'Connor Flanagan leaving Horan in his wake. Popped off to Greg McEnany. Greg McEnany, will he have a go himself? Greg McEnany gives it to Killian McGuinness and it rebounds away. Crokes got bodies in the way. Skerries might regret not just taking the point earlier on.
Yeah, great block from Michael Mullen there. He committed to the block when the shot was coming through, got a great block on it, turned it over. Skerries get a free out of it, but again, great movement again from Skerries. Sometimes when you're behind the ball like that, you don't have the out ball in terms of passes, but because they keep 2 or 3 guys up front, when they're moving out, there's movement ahead, there's players coming on the shoulder as well, so they're creating problems for Crokes because of that. It's not as easy for them to filter back because there's guys have to mark, you can't drop off. But before that, an absolutely brilliant block from Michael McMullen. He's probably feeling the pain a little bit on the back of it, But a super block. We've seen one from Paul Mannion, but that was a super commitment to get the block on the shot that potentially had a score written on it.
The Skerries have the chance to retake the lead. They do have this free from Stephen Smith. Making a burst to provide an option was Killian McGuinness, but he was covered. Mark O'Leary followed him, so Smith will just have the shot. Smith pulled it to the near side and wide.
Yeah, fifth wide, disappointing wide. He got one from a similar angle a little bit earlier on, so you would have expected that one to drop over.
Higgins drives long. Cunningham tries to get under it. Intercepted. Good take by Sean Rocks.
Yeah, Cian O'Connor committed to the run, expecting one of his teammates to win it, so he's a bit out of the game. So again, a chance for Skerries to build.
Killian McGuinness has a runner out wide. That's Fearon. Fearon has Smith as an option in the corner. Smith up against Murphy. Smith might actually stay in play. It does. It's collected by Rocks. Skerries have to go the long route, but they do keep possession. Gilmore gave it outside. Ronan Gagan. Owen O'Connor Flanagan. Owen Smith. Killian McGuinness. Popping up is Paddy Kelly. Paddy Kelly going to ground just outside the square. And Crokes turn it over. It's Ben Shovlin. He loses it. There's a scramble again. The ball has disappeared from our view. And it is a free out to Kilmacud Crokes.
Yeah, I think probably Skerries folk were thinking he was unlucky not to win a free when he broke through there, but he probably was half heading to ground before he was contacted with. But when you consider the free at the other end that Shane Cunningham picked up, you can see why they might be a little bit annoyed they didn't get a decision out of it.
There is something exciting about Skerries Harps, isn't there?
Yeah, they've great pace in their movement. They're set up well. They're not gone defensive with everyone behind the ball. They're back in a system of play. They're adding pace into the move when they get an opportunity, and that's causing Crokes problem because they're having to back off. It's very hard to stop a guy with pace. Admittedly, they're getting great numbers behind the ball. Paddy O'Connor was back defending earlier. He's now back up front. So that's the work rate they're having to demonstrate to not stay in the game, but to match the level that Skerries have come at.
Shane Cunningham. Craig Diaz. Shane Horan. Horan hangs on to it. Pops it up for Diaz. Diaz. Back to Horan. Diaz. O'Carroll. Mannion. O'Carroll was running inside. Mannion just hung on to it. Mannion into the corner. Finds O'Connor. O'Connor has to go laterally. That was an unusual pass, but it worked for Hugh Kenny, who popped it off, sent forwards. O'Carroll, and it's palmed over the crossbar. Good save. I don't know who got back there, but Shane Horan must have thought he was getting a goal. He has to settle for a point.
Yeah, what a brilliant move to cut across. Great hands from Kenny. Another pass. Rory O'Carroll just flashed it across. Is it Gilmore on the line or is it Sean Rocks? I didn't quite see. Absolutely brilliant move, but did well to get a hand on it on the line and deflect it over the bar because I had goal written all over it.
I think it might have been Gilmore rather than Rocks. Owen Smith. Gilmore was there as an option, but he went to the goalkeeper, Cormac Rocks. Sean Rocks. That's like scoring a goal, making a block or a save like that. I know they conceded the point, but it could have been far, far worse.
Oh yeah, well, they're half celebrating the goal, Kilmacud there, such the move that was involved and how good it was, but then it doesn't result, and it's a great clearance off the line, and Gilmore did brilliant to get a hand on it, drive it over the bar. It means that, well, Crokes are in front. It's only by a point.
Adam Fearon. He's like a gazelle. Finds his man. Murphy. It opens up for Murphy. Still Murphy. Still Murphy. What a wonderful goal again from Skerries Harps. It's Paddy Kelly for the second time. Murphy cutting Kilmacud Crokes open, giving it to Kelly, and Kelly with a wonderful finish.
Ah, what a great goal again. Great move through the middle. What strength. Cut once, then comes another way, goes and look at the inside. The pass is given. Great finish into the corner. They've really gone after Kilmacud Crokes in terms of goal opportunities. There was a couple of times you can kick that over the bar, but they've said there's a goal on here. They've backed themselves. They've 3 of them got. They've probably left another one behind them. Brilliant response in the opening half. After 9 minutes, they were 1-4 to a goal down, and since then they've been very good in terms of the way they've dominated. Free out, tackled off.
Skerries they're just really good to watch, aren't they?
Yeah, but there's obviously 2 ways of approaching Kilmacud. You can fear obviously that they're going to come and unleash the big guns on you, and that you're going to have to try and compete with that, or you can actually take them on. I mentioned at the outset there was it's disrespectful to Skerries to say it's a free shot, because they have obviously aspirations to go on and do well in the championship, but that's the attitude they've gone out with. Let's take it on, let's see what comes out of it. And they've a lovely setup in terms of how they're going from an offensive point of view, and it's asking big questions of Crokes defensively.
Jack Smith bottled up. Smith gets the pass away. He did brilliantly. Fearon. O'Carroll going to close him down. Fearon attacks the inside shoulder. Good delivery. Murphy is the intended target. Shovlin gets back there and nicks it. Shovlin away, looking for Mannion. Has he put too much on that? He has.
Well, every mistake, every line ball, everything that Crokes are doing wrong has been cheered by the Skerries crowd. Might be small in number, but they're big in voice in terms of how they're getting behind the team. And why not? The team have in the first 20-25 minutes have given it a great display, a great attacking display, as well as backing themselves in terms of we've guys good enough to do man marking jobs, so we don't need to pull everyone back. Let's really attack this, and they've demonstrated that.
Rocks trying to get away from Hugh Kenny. Paul Wilde back to the goalkeeper. They slow it down when they need to, Skerries Harps, don't they?
Yeah, well, keeper saying the same thing. They have a game plan, so they're trying to do something in terms of the space inside. So there's a big gap between the 45 and the 21 metre line. So the whole game plan is, let's keep the space in front of the forwards we know can get scores. We know they can create goal scoring opportunities. We've seen that, there's 3 of them delivered. So now they're asking Crokes to come and get them.
And their keeper breaks the cover. Cormac Rocks into the corner it goes. He finds Kieran Murphy, who made that last goal. Murphy forced into the corner, but cleverly wins a line pull.
I think it might be I thought he was given a free there. It looked like a foot block maybe from Rory O'Carroll the way he jumped into it. Maybe it's just a sideline.
Smith. Murphy's the target. Murphy collects it. Murphy. Has that got enough? It does.
Great score from Murphy. Great fetch.
It was actually Ethan Dunn. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, great fetch in front of the square there. Turned onto his left foot, knocks it over the bar. Yeah, on the sideline, Stephen Smith squeezed a couple of yards and came closer to the 41. Delivered a great pass across the goal and a great score.
Quinn carries. Shane Horan. 3 between them. Crokes, who were 3 or 4 up at one stage. Here's Cunningham. Cian O'Connor. Crokes do a lot of things. Panic is not one of them. Here's Mannion. Mannion having a cut. Back outside. Paddy O'Connor. Shovlin made a run up towards the 20 metre line. He was completely unmarked, but they decided not to give him the ball. It would have been a risky enough pass. Cian O'Connor. Cunningham's outside. Mannion, who was well covered inside. Dara Mullen. Paul Mannion. Lovely jinx. Is it matched by a lovely finish? No.
Great pressure from Killy McGuinness on the kick. Paul Mannion thought it might have been a foul, but McGuinness committed himself before the ball had left, tried to get a block on it. Maybe just impacted in terms of the quality of the finish from Paul Mannion. Great commitment shown by Skerries, and differently to what they have been doing up until now, they pulled a couple of guys back, so they made it more difficult space-wise for Kilmacud in front of the goal. So they realise now they've a couple of points, 3 to the good. Heading to half-time, it's important to try and protect what they have, but still reverting to leaving 2 guys up front. Great fetch again. McGuinness having a great first half.
He's having a fantastic game. Fearon calling the ball on himself and getting it. Up against Mark O'Leary. Fearon, 7-on-7. Looping run by O'Connor Flanagan. O'Connor Flanagan sails it up in the air. Smith, he's quick, but he's not that quick.
Yeah, the intent was right in that he had looked for Smith had cut inside. He just didn't get the pass right. It needed to come more across the goal, gave him a little bit more of an opportunity. When you consider that that's 6 wides, admittedly that wasn't a shot for goals, but that are the point. It's 6 wides they've got. They've 3 goals scored. Great first half performance.
Anthony Quinn. Cunningham back to Quinn. Mannion wants it and gets it. Mannion gets a push, goes to ground, gets the free in.
Yeah, I guess when you're talking to youngsters about playing the game, one of the tricks is to try and cut across a defender. Paul Mannion does it so well, did it again there, where it allows him to get a yard. He cuts across and then the defender may accidentally, purposely come in contact with him, which then wins a free and at least gives an opportunity of a score. So rather than running a straight line, when you cut, you put the defender under pressure, gives Mannion a chance to try and knock it over the bar.
Mannion looking for his second score from a free and getting it.
Big score. They're 8 minutes without a score. The last one was the goal chance that came that was knocked over the bar by Gilmore. So the first 10 minutes where they came with the flurry has dropped off. They've only 3 scores over the last 20 minutes or so. Crokes.
Kieran Murphy was getting some treatment off the ball. I don't mean treatment in a bad sense. I mean treatment in a good sense from his physio. Well, either way it's bad, but you know what I mean. Paddy Kelly. Greg McEnany. Sean Rocks. It's left behind. It might break kindly here for Greg McEnany. It does. Greg McEnany going for it. It has the legs, but it doesn't have the accuracy. And that's half-time. Skerries Harps 3-3. Kilmacud Crokes 1-7. 2 between them. And a really entertaining first half of football in the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin Senior Club Championship opening night. Kilmacud Crokes trailing at the break. Coleman.
Yeah, a strange opening 10 minutes, I suppose, but from a first half perspective, Skerries have to be delighted. You go into the game against the current Dublin champions who have 3 on the spin, 1 looking to add a 4th title. So that you're not maybe expected to get something out of it, but in fairness to Skerries, they came with a game plan. They set up to leave space inside, and when they've got opportunity to run at Kilmacud Crokes, they've looked to see if they can create goal scoring opportunities, of which they've managed to net 3 of them. Crokes have created 2 goal chances, scored 1 and had 1 tapped over the bar. So it's an even enough game, I suppose, but from a Skerries perspective, you can't but be delighted with the performance they've given. Unlike some teams, their immediate thought is, can we go forward? Can we find a pass? And have we someone coming off the shoulder that allows us to break into space? More often than not, what you see is the team on the ball, they'll turn and go back, they'll slow down, which then gives the opposing team an opportunity to get a defensive cordon in place. Skerries have done differently. They've gone at pace all the time, and when they think there's a goal chance, they've managed to work 2-3 little hand passes that opens it up to get those 3 goals and gives them a half-time advantage. So great first half performance. Crokes would have been delighted with the first 10 minutes, but there's a bit of work to do coming out in the second half in terms of how they're playing, because they're not creating as easy as they were in that opening quarter.
Half-time, Skerries Harps 3-3, Kilmacud Crokes 1-7. We'll be back with the second half shortly. Don't forget to keep up with everything that's happening around the county. GA-wise, go to the Dublin GA website or any of the social media channels. You'll be able to watch highlights of the games that we bring you live on Dubs TV. You'll also be able to watch post-match interviews and get reaction pieces. And you can keep an eye on all the fixtures and results from across all of the grades. We'll be back with the second half. Join us for that.
We're delighted to extend the partnership with Go Ahead Ireland. They're an organisation that serves communities all over Dublin and helps serve our club members around the county, and it's been a brilliant partnership for the last 3 years, and we're delighted to extend for a further 2 years.
Like us, Dublin GAA are embedded in their community, so it was a really natural fit. For us, it was important to find a partner that was inclusive, but also had that community identity, and that's exactly what we found in Dublin GAA. Since we started the partnership, they've been really easy to work with, and we're really excited to continue the journey together.
In those 3 years, we actually accomplished a lot with Dublin GAA. We were privileged to be able to work with both local and national charities with them, as well as working on several GAA initiatives.
This partnership allows us to support Club League and Championship with initiatives such as our Dubs TV live streaming platform. We try and stream as many games as possible, particularly during the championship season where we can from a logistical point of view around grounds, and that is something we will continue to try and deliver over the coming years and keep enhancing club championship product and club leagues around the county across all 4 codes.
In the coming months, we're going to be continuing growing our services. And while we do that, that means that we'll be serving more GAA community clubs than ever before.
This year alone, we're going to be introducing the Development Fund for Accessibility as part of our partnership, which is going to see core infrastructure at Dublin GAA developed. In the summer, we're also introducing the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin LGFA Summer Skills Camps, which will be held in July and August.
As Dublin's best performing public bus operator, we're going to continue to work really hard on delivering for our customers and our communities.
Tribeca in Ranelagh. I had to go with my family, it's a favourite of ours. Definitely recommend trying their wings. The Metro Cafe, it's a great spot for people watching, especially when it's sunny outside. An oat milk cappuccino would be my go-to. The atmosphere in Devitt is always brilliant. We've had plenty of team nights out there, always great crack. The Timber Trove Cafe in the Dublin Mountains, it's a really cosy family-run cafe. Family House would definitely be a must visit. They have monthly markets on which are gorgeous. I would advise you to walk around the city because most of the main attractions are close by and you can get there quicker on foot. Niamh Gannon, this is my Dublin.
Kyo's Cafe in Portobello. I really like going back just for the vibe. It's nice and chill, people are really cool. Trails Cafe in Ticknock. The coffee is really, really good. Americano, small bit of milk, and you're good to go and hit the trails. Blue Light is always a nice roaring fire. We tend to go up after All Ireland final week. It's a really nice place to be. I'd recommend getting out to Poolbeg Lighthouse. It's a great walk out. You get a great view back of the city. If you get the chance, I'd go up to Ticknock, go up and rent a mountain bike. Trails up there are pretty cool. Bring a raincoat, a shower's never too far away. Orla Nolan, this is my Dublin.
Stay City Apart Hotels. Half apartment, half hotel. Warm beds, comfy sofas, and fully equipped kitchens. We offer guests more, so you can do more. Cook, sleep, work, play. Welcoming, accommodating, and big beds for jumping. Smart travellers choose Stay City because Stay City is the smart choice. Stay City, half apartment, half hotel, all across Europe. Save 10% every time you book at staycity.com.
And Kieran's brother was a friend of my brother's. We met through them, so when I was coming up to the Debs, I invited Kieran to my Debs. He asked me to marry him, and I said yes, so long as our firstborn child played for Vincent's. And he said, okay, grand. It's great to have our family involved as well. I suppose if the kids weren't as interested in it as we were, it'd be very tough on us.
Kieran's are playing Vincent's. The tension in the house is gas. Mum is obviously Vincent's and Dad is Kieran, so Mum always claims that she'll give John steak for dinner and she won't feed Kevin. But it's always a bit of a laugh, but I suppose no one takes it too seriously.
She had her hands full. She could have got the job as a bus driver. The amount of dropping off and picking up she did from matches around. Leaving some matches early to go to another match to make sure she got the end of that, or make sure we all got the same amount of attention. There was no favourites.
It means everything. I don't know what we do without it, to be fair. We eat, drink and sleep it.
It's always through the family like the rest of us. There's not enough supporting words, I'd say.
I know my whole life at this rate.
We're very proud parents. That's a huge achievement to have 100% of your family still playing. We're proud of them all, every one of them.
My name is Neve Heatherton.
My name is John Heatherton.
I'm Kieran Heatherton.
I'm Patsy Heatherton, and as a family,
Our roots are set in the GAA.
Rogue and the GAA in general. In simplest terms, we probably couldn't function without Grove Force.
I suppose the GAA was always a bit more than hitting the ball or hitting the schlitter, you know, and it gave a great sense of community to people.
I suppose at my age, fear of retirement, worried about the unknown, what am I going into a home under my wife's feet all the time or something like that, and then we just got this men's initiative started off. We feel that we're giving something back to the club that gave so much to us. We come up here on a rotary basis and line pitches, cut grass. It kind of empowers us as well if we feel valued.
We're all friends, we're all retired, we're all around the same age group. Some of us have nothing outside of our work, and Ground Force has been a big change for everybody from the mental well-being point of view. It's really, really important and really significant, and there is great camaraderie amongst the group.
So I think there's about 30 odd men in this initiative that comes up to the club and has a chat, and the coffee is important as well. We sort out the world, Dad.
Yeah. Or well, most of it.
Yeah.
That's what it means to me, just achievement and pride.
Welcome back for the second half of Skerries Harps against Kilmacud Crokes. Skerries leading at the break, 3-3, that's 12 points. To Kilmacud Crokes 1-7, that's 10 points. The other two teams, by the way, in this group, Thomas Davis and St Vincent's, they meet tomorrow in Balgriffin.
Yeah, I'd say there was a few scuds fired in that Kilmacud dressing room. You know, Robbie Brennan, while he'd been delighted with the start, we mentioned, you know, they've allowed Skerry a bit of oxygen to gain momentum. They've given away 3 goals. You don't often see that with Kilmacud. I'm just thinking back to last year's county final. Ballybowden came into it having, you know, scored, you know, clatter of goals, really looked promising going into the game, and then Crokes put on a masterclass defensively. So they're obviously not in that space right now, and the scores that are given, but great credit to Skerries and how they've taken it on.
The goals coming from Hugh Kenny on the Crokes side, and on the Skerries Harp side, 2 wonderful goals by Paddy Kelly and Owen O'Connor Flanagan, who took his goal well following a fantastic move. There is a slight breeze. It is in favour of Skerries Harps on a nice, warm, pleasant night in the capital. And Crokes start as they mean to continue. Diaz with the probing ball, well taken and slid onto by Hugh Kenny. It's a free in. Or did he call the mark? No, he put his arm up, sorry. I thought he was holding his head. It is a mark. Typical me. Tabloider, looking for trouble when it's not there. Here is Hugh Kenny looking for his second point, which he won't find.
Yeah, he didn't look overly comfortable with it in terms of the technique. He was pushing it or forcing it as such. 4 wides in the opening half. That's a 5th for Kilmacud.
Cormac Rocks, who was congratulated on his way off at half-time by a couple of the mentors and those in the wider panel. Here's Craig Diaz. Horan. Crokes starting at a pace. Mark O'Leary. Craig Diaz. Shane Cunningham. Strokes it into the corner. Popping up to get it is Paul Mannion. Mannion taking on the defender. Mannion still going. Mannion has Kenny inside. Goes to ground. It is a free rather than a penalty.
Yeah, I wonder is Mannion hurt there on the back end of that? It was a big contact that led to the free. He was trying to get inside him, looked like he'd come past him enough to create the goal scoring opportunity, but he was, fouled. Looks like he's just hobbling a little bit on the back end of that decision. Referee adamant he was outside. He might take this on himself. Cut the gap to 1.
Mannion puts it over, as you would expect.
Yeah, turned on the jets there, caused problems for the Skerries full back line, so that's just something they need to be aware of early into the second half. Point between the sides. Again, big press on the kick out.
Rocks. That's going to hang and it allows Diaz to attack it. Couldn't soak it up. O'Leary might hack at it. No, it's picked up by Shane Horan. Horan bottled up but not fouled. An unusual but effective pass to Mullen. Shovlin moved it back and now it's Rory O'Carroll. O'Carroll receiving it from Mullen. O'Carroll strokes it towards Shane Cunningham. Cunningham back to Paddy O'Connor. Paddy O'Connor puts it over. A good composed finish by Paddy O'Connor.
Yeah, great score from Paddy O'Connor. I think I have him down for 4 if I have him right.
That's correct, 3 for playing a mark.
Yeah, great impact he's had. Again, great pace on it. Rory O'Carroll generally more influential in the game. Haven't seen as much of him. First time he gets on the ball, creates a little bit of space inside for Cunningham to pop it back to O'Connor. Good start by Crokes again at the start of the second half.
Rocks. Diaz again attacks it along with his fellow number 8, Killian McGuinness. Those two having a good duel. Cian O'Connor dueling with a couple of Skerries players there and he loses it. Good tackling by McGuinness. Greg McEnany. McGuinness. Skerries have taken a few punches, a few body blows, but they've picked themselves up off the canvas every time. Stephen Smith trying to keep it in play and does well. Stephen Smith. A risky one. Almost getting in there. Skerries Harps and touching it home. Didn't quite see who got that touch on it, but it is a wide.
Yeah, Smith unlucky probably not to pick up a free, but he ran into a corner. There was 4 Crokes guys. It was only be always hard to try and get around him. I think it could have been Paddy Kelly who almost got a mitt on it. No, maybe not. Sorry, it was inside man. It was Stephen. Substitution actually. Sorry, so there's a sub on there.
It is Fionn O'Leary who's not that long on.
Yeah, he came on at half time. Fionn O'Leary nearly got a hand on it. It was a strange pass. Great pressure from Skerries.
We'll have a look at that quite unusual goal chance in a second. Here's Kevin Gilmore, who saved what looked a certain Kilmacud Crokes goal in the first half with the heroic on the line block, not online. Skerries trying to open them up. Jack Smith pops out. Shovlin gets away from him. Diaz there as well. Brace kindly for blue rather than purple and gold. And that is a really good score. A fine finish, a fine score from Paddy Kelly.
Yeah, and arguably epitomises what Skerries are doing this evening. They're working so hard, putting pressure on Kilmacud Crokes all over the place. 3 Crokes players went for that ball. He still managed to win the ball, turn and pop it over the bar. Great score.
Higgins into the middle. A middle that was overpopulated by Skerries Harps, and they've got the ball back. It was a good fetch by Ethan Dunn. Adam Fearon had Kelly ahead of him, takes it on himself. Fearon to put Skerries Harps 2 in front, and he's done it. An unusual but very, very effective finish.
Yeah, he's so powerful on the ball. Great runner, gets into a bit of space and backs himself to knock it over the bar. Big score, big response to Kilmacud Crokes opening 2 scores. They matched them. Yeah, look at the pressure on the ball.
Stephen Smith has won it back. They could be in for a goal here. They're queuing up. It's Fionn O'Leary. Fionn O'Leary takes his point in the end.
Yeah, I think he overcarried it in the end. The goal chance was there. He didn't back himself on his left side, tried to come back inside, and then I think he ultimately took too many steps. So there's no play at one play. Then he throws a pass. Maybe not. I think Crokes were maybe questioning the same. Referee makes it stand. Great response, but huge pressure again from Skerries on the kick out.
And here's that unusual goal chance. Yeah, Fionn O'Leary almost getting on the end of that. A risky pass across the face of their own goal, and O'Leary almost punished them. Well, Crokes made a positive and bright start to the second half, but just as in the first half, Skerries respond very, very well. Now, can they keep it in play? Mark O'Leary scarpering after it and getting it under control. O'Leary launches it. Cunningham was waiting. The bounce falls favourably for him. Cunningham with Horan inside. Cunningham, a wonderful goal. The captain stands up for his team when they needed him.
So unlucky on the defender, all the hard work. He misjudged the bounce as it came his way. He was all on his own, left at sea with the bounce. Cunningham comes inside, thought he was going to pop it across to Horan, but backed himself, stuck it into the net. 3 scores in a minute for Skerries, then cancelled out fairly quickly by that goal from Cunningham. All square.
And a really enjoyable game. If Jim and the Rules Committee are watching, they'll think we don't need to change anything.
But both teams are set up very offensively, so they're all looking to try and get scores. Everything is go forward ball. They're not looking to turn and go back, so it's much more open and attacking. It mightn't be that way in a couple of weeks' time when you come to the last group games, but certainly it's a great spectacle today.
Turning and twisting is Paul Wilde. And I'm sure Jim and the committee are taking my opinion very seriously coming there.
I'd like to think so. Yeah, a huge input there.
Yeah. They haven't responded to any of my calls or emails.
I think Adam Fearon is unlucky not to have gotten a free there. He turned into a tackle there, but Horan caught him square on into the stomach, chest area rather than on a shoulder. So surprising there wasn't a free awarded for Adam Fearon. He's probably a bit winded from the hit. He had the ball in close to him. So it's probably that impact that's causing him more of a problem than anything else. Should be okay in a minute or so.
In fairness to Jim and that committee, all jokes aside, they did open it up for people's opinions. They allowed anyone who wanted to say something about football to feed it back to them, which is really good.
Yeah, I think they probably went with a very open mind, so rather than coming with some predetermined ideas around what they think would work given their experiences in the game, they certainly opened it out to see, let's take a flood of ideas and then let's realistically see what might be applied to the game, what can be applied to the game. I suppose it doesn't cause the referee too much more grief. You mentioned 12k, mark down scores, watch for quick kick-outs, are you outside this line, are you inside that line? So there's a whole job of work that you have to try and support when you are changing rules around the referee, because we're very quick to criticise, but there's so much they're trying to get right, whereas players really are only trying to control a ball or win a ball most times.
Ronan Gagan gets it outside to Owen Smith. Smith pops it off. Running with it, Killian McGuinness. Killian McGuinness, has he sailed that one between the sticks? If he has, it's a wonderful score. That's fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant score. We've seen some great scores across the evening, but look at how he cuts across, knows where the posts are, in full flight, just sticks it over the bar. Great score. Skerries aren't going away here. They've plenty of opportunity, plenty of chances that they're creating, and with Killian McGuinness in the middle of the field, putting huge pressure on kickouts as well.
Ball down the line to Mannion. Go at him is the shout. Owen Smith up against Mannion. Mannion kisses the post and over it goes. His first from play, his 4th overall.
Yeah, great score. The instruction from Tom Fox was go at him. So he certainly took him on, stuck it over the bar. Great battle between the two teams. As mentioned, very open, very offensive. Don't often see these type of big scores in Championship football, but it's a great spectacle for those that are here and those that are watching.
Ball falls to Cian O'Connor. Just wondering who Tom Fox actually came in for. Cian O'Connor still out there. Darren Mullen still out there. On the ball now, Cian O'Connor, the man we just mentioned, gave it to Shane Cunningham. Ball rebounding around. Crokes trying to get it back under control. It might break here. Cian O'Connor going after it, but beaten to it, and Skerries have possession.
I think it's Shane Horn who's gone. Ushin.
Okay. Hugh Kenny committing the foul. And he's being marked for it.
Yeah, we've 8 scores in that opening 10 minutes, of really high quality. So that's where the game is at from an offensive point of view.
Fearon riding the gauntlet. He's turned over, but he has won the free.
Yeah, I think that, I'm saying there about being critical of referees. I think he's just leaving stuff go a step or too far. Crokes felt they had worked a turnover there in terms of the pressure they put on the ball, in terms of over-carrying. Adam Fearon felt he was being hammered from all angles. Referee then made a call to go with Adam Fearon in that instance. When you consider the free he didn't give to him a little bit earlier, again, that frustration creeps in. So I'm not in any way trying to be critical of the referee. It's that frustration that seeps into players because they feel they're doing the work to get a turnover and then a free potentially goes against them. And now all of a sudden we've no ball. There's about 25 in 2 bags over there against the stand, but there's only one that works.
Adam Fearon on the sideline is not moving particularly well, just inside that Crokes 45.
Yeah, he got 2 big hits there. He was definitely winded in the contact where there was no free, and then he got well hammered there by 3 or 4 Crokes guys.
Fumbled and regathered by Greg McEnany. He never lost control. Sean Rocks. Owen Smith. Paddy Kelly. Greg McEnany. He always seems to be where he's needed. Greg McEnany. Moved it outside. Stephen Smith. Fionn O'Leary wearing those turquoise boots. Here's the shot. Is it a score? No.
Unlucky, great patience on the ball. First wide of the second half. But brilliant run. When they slow it down, what they do when they decide to go, then they add so much pace into it. Rocks from corner back is supporting all the time. So it's everyone in and everyone out depending on what they're trying to do.
Shane Cunningham is drifting in behind, running after this one. Paddy O'Connor. Mullen going for it, and Mullen getting it. A fine score by Dara Mullen.
Yeah, great score. Dara Mullen just left too much space. They probably didn't reckon he was going to take it on from 35, 40 metres out the field there, but he did. He backed himself. We know that Crokes have shooters, and certainly in Mullen they have someone who can get them too. Again, a press on the kick out here. Brilliant. Both teams have gone after the kick out.
Shovelin batted it down, but only as far as Fearon, who seems to have got over whatever knock he had. He's fouled. It's a free in for Skerries Harps.
I think that's Adam Fearon again there, who's on the ground. Bit of afters over on the sideline.
Fearless.
Yeah, great breakdown. Takes off here. He's trying to get into a little bit of space. He gets a shove in the back right enough. I'm not sure there was, a whole pile wrong in terms of, okay, it's a foul given, but there's nothing sinister in what's happened there. It's a nudge in the back that he falls going forward on. Although he could be sore tomorrow.
Smith. What a catch that was. Moves it off. Paddy Kelly. Drifts it over. Paddy Kelly's having a fine night. He's now on 2-2.
Yeah, great score from Paddy Kelly, but what a take from Smith. Fizz ball, didn't really change in trajectory. Wins it, turns, gives it to Kelly, who knocks it over the bar. Great response. Ball is inside.
Well, it went out, but it did go back in. Higgins is saying that it went outside the 20-metre line, but it can't go back in like that.
But mentioned in the opening game that Raheny conceded the kick out, which allowed the Fianna just the easy possession to build to a certain point. I think the big difference in this game is that they've both decided to go after kick outs. In fairness to Skerries, a brave tactic. And as a result, there's been a huge amount of turnovers from the kick out, huge amount of scoring opportunities that have come from wins such as this.
Ethan Dunn grabbed it out of the sky, went to ground. He's surrounded by purple and gold. Diaz has it in his hands. Somehow got it to his teammate. Is that a foul on Hugh Kenny? Yes, it is. Free out. Clever play by Kilmacud Crokes.
Yeah, great win initially by Ethan Dunn, but then was crowded out by the 4 or 5 Kilmacud Crokes player. Kenny took a bad swing, I suppose, as he was trying to get out there.
Taking and going. Michael Mullen. Quinn. Mannion. Mannion. Good carry by Mannion. Finds O'Connor. Back to Mannion. Mannion. Well, if it was anyone else, you'd say pass it to a man in a better position, but Mannion is always that man in a better position.
Yeah, well, great leadership. You know, they need scores, they need someone to step up. We've seen Mullen kick one over there, but Paul Mannion starts the move, takes it on, gives a quick 1-2, takes it back and then sends it over on his left peg. So often, you know, the result when he's on the ball is a score, but great leadership in terms of going at Skerries and trying to get a score to nudge Crokes in front again.
Rocks goes long. Dunn takes it well. It's 2-on-2 inside. Oh, he just kind of didn't name it right, and O'Carroll was there to take it, and O'Carroll is fouled by Kelly. Hugh Kenny. Quinn. Quinn gets it back. He was chased down there by Kevin Gilmore, who gave him no time and no space, but he kept his composure. Craig Diaz finds its way over to Mullen. Dara Mullen up against Wild. Shane Cunningham. Mullen takes the tackles. He doesn't mind. Mullen. Fox. Cunningham brings it into a kinder angle. Doesn't shoot though. Cian O'Connor. Tom Fox. Craig Diaz. O'Leary might have a go. No, thought better of it. Mullen. Diaz. Cian O'Connor. Mannion and Cunningham almost left it to each other and almost lost it, but it is Mannion who has it now. Mannion, foul on the way through. Skerries man down, so we will stop for some treatment.
Again, great work by Paul Mannion. It was one of those balls across you had to commit to try and win it. He did win it. Ends up Skerries' player is probably injured or hurt as a consequence, but then takes it on and cuts through. So the forward player, offensive play from both teams has been brilliant. It's all about trying to get forward and create scores. The first thought is move the ball forward, go forward, rather than go back or sideways. And as a consequence, we've been fed all of these scores, Oisín, that we're running out of paper to chalk down.
Well, unfortunately for Owen Smith, his night is over. Hopefully he'll be back up and running for the next game. Thomas Davis and St. Vincent's to come for these two teams. And Crokes with the chance through Mannion to make it a 2-point game. But Skerries, as we've seen so many times tonight, more than capable of clawing that back. Mannion. Crokes by 2.
Yeah, good finish again. Mentioned the leadership piece. Kicks one from play, follows it up with a free. Squeeze on the kick out again. Important couple of minutes here for Skerries. Just need to settle it again, get on a ball, try and get a score. They've matched Crokes neck for neck up to now. Can they get another one?
Shovlin. Cian O'Connor. Mullen followed the ball, gave it to Fox. Cian O'Connor. O'Carroll. Craig Diaz. Dara Mullen. Dara Mullen turning this way and that. Dara Mullen finding a route through. Dara Mullen takes his point.
Yeah, when the chips were down for Crokes, not that they've been that far off, but both Dara Mullen and Paul Mannion have really stood up in the second half. Another score from Mullen to add to one he got earlier in the half. I think Mannion has 4 for the second half. That's the type of leadership you're looking for. Obviously, they're not county champions, 3 years on the spin for no reason. Skerries are putting up a big ask. To now, Crokes have been able to answer it. Not at their ease, though.
O'Carroll soccer styling into his teammate. That teammate was Paddy O'Connor. Back to O'Carroll it goes. Cian O'Connor. Craig Diaz bursting forward and drawing markers with him. Leave space on the side for Paul Mannion. Mannion. Cian O'Connor. Well taken, moved on by Mullen. Paddy O'Connor. Paddy keep coming is the shout from Dara Mullen. Now I was about to say he gives it to Dara Mullen. He fooled maybe not everybody, but certainly me. Dara Mullen. Shovlin. Will Shovlin have a pop here? No, he doesn't. Craig Diaz. Dara Mullen. Tom Fox. Shovlin. Mullen. O'Carroll. Cian O'Connor. It says an awful lot about Crokes there that it was opened up for Shovlin, but he didn't have a go because it wasn't like a 90% effort.
Yeah, it's. I suppose they were looking to back a shooter there. He probably should have taken it on again. Oh. Skerries break out. Can they get enough bodies to support?
Well, we've seen them do this throughout the evening. That's clever fouling by Cian O'Connor, and then a needless reaction.
Yeah, so Cian O'Connor certainly put a stop on the move. Adam Fearon definitely reacted to the free, so it'll be interesting to see whether it's a free for Skerries, as it probably should have been, only for Fearon maybe to react on the free. So I can understand the frustration. Yeah, the referee has a decision to make here in terms of discussion with Adam Fearon.
Easy to say from up here, a needless reaction. I imagine out there in the thick of it, it's quite difficult to make split-second decisions at the kind of intensity that these guys are going at.
Yeah, I get there's a massive frustration because he's
it's red. Fearon goes off.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by the decision. He did. It looked like he lifted his hand after Cian O'Connor. Cian O'Connor makes the foul. He's delaying the movement. He's stopping Adam Fearon making the progress. But then Fearon does react to the tackle. And the referee's left with no decision then, particularly in the movement that takes place after. So there's a yellow card for Cian O'Connor. There's a free for Skerries if he is able to just contain himself. I can understand the frustration, but you just can't do what he did.
Well, in some breaking news, earlier on, Rashida Adeleki coming fourth in her Olympic final in the 400 metres. She was unlucky, but what a performance.
Yeah, still a little bit of niggle going on there.
Now being spoken to by the referee is Hugh Kenny. It's a yellow for Hugh Kenny.
Yeah, Cian O'Connor must surely be due a card here of some colour. It'll be a yellow, certainly, if not a black in terms of, was it a pull down, but I'm not sure he'll treat it that way.
A yellow for Cian O'Connor.
Yeah, look, you can probably hear below us that people are, not pleased with the decision the referee has made. If Adam Fearon doesn't react there, it's a yellow card, and that's all it is, and they move on for a free. But the frustration, you can see where it creeps out from.
The Skerries have got a free in now.
They need a score. They've been great up to now. There's 10 minutes have gone since their last score, so they need to try and get a score. 3 to the good Crokes. Need to trim that gap if they can.
Well, they came here to win, not to lose heroically. It's a good mark taken by O'Connor Flanagan, who's had a fine game. No matter what happens tonight, Skerries Harps will be in the mix to get out of the group. Remember, it is the top two who go through. Third place, well, they don't advance, but they keep their senior status. The bottom team in every group go into the relegation playoffs, and O'Connor Flanagan sticks over the mark, and that is a much needed score. Skerries Harps by no means done yet. They have the shooting power to fire their way to a win here.
Yeah, 5 minutes on the clock. They're down a man. That's going to have an impact because it means they can't maybe press as hard on the kicker as they have been doing. This is where there's going to be a little bit of space.
Cian O'Connor. Mullen. Paddy O'Connor. Cian O'Connor. Paddy O'Connor. Quinn. Paddy O'Connor. There's just that second more freedom for Kilmacud Crokes now, isn't there?
Yeah, well, you can't overcommit now because you are down one. So if you drop someone back, it means there's going to be 2 or 3 Kilmacud Crokes players across the middle able to show for a pass and receive a pass. So just asks a little bit more of Skerries, and they have to be conscious not to give space inside.
Shoveling kicks it inside, maybe overcooked it. McEnany there to grab it. It's a good carry, a confident carry. McEnany went inside, jumping onto that one. Gilmore. Gagan. Smith at pace. It's a dazzling run. Smith still going. Plenty of space on the near side here. Jack Smith is in an acre of space, but they can't work it over to him. They keep it over there. Stephen Smith. It's risky. It drops inside. Well, it could have clipped off a hand. Someone could have got something on it, but in the end it just bounces wide. Those diagonal balls into the square, difficult for goalkeepers.
9 wide for Skerries. Just goes to show how well they've been in the game. Crokes had a spin there where he kicked 3 scores, but 5 against Skerries, 1 from the 10th minute onwards.
Paddy Kelly heads off, or does he? No, he was just going over to get a drink of water. There is a change on the Crokes team. Craig Diaz heading off. And coming in to replace him is Luke Ward.
Can they orchestrate a turnover?
Higgins. Oh, it was left behind there and he couldn't quite retrieve it. Luke O'Kelly. Ethan Dunn. Rocks. Fionn O'Leary. 2 between them and plenty of time left because we've had a few stoppages in the second half. A Skerries team with goals in them. They might need one. Here's McGuinness. That is absolutely amazing by McGuinness.
Yeah, well, he's demonstrated throughout the game leadership. He's got another score there, his 3rd of the evening. What a great score. They're looking for a score. They need someone to step up. McGuinness steps up, knocks it over the bar. Point between the teams. They might be a man down, but the effort, commitment displayed by Skerries has been phenomenal throughout the game. Kilmacud Crokes to the pin of their collar in terms of trying to hang on here. They do have a spare man. They should be able to work a kick out, but not the way Skerries are pushed up. Goalkeepers out beneath us here, out close between the 45 and 65. Big kick for David Higgins. Goal between the sides when they met in the group stages last year. We're down to the minimum.
Higgins. Ball breaks in the middle. Blue have it rather than purple in goal. It was Greg McEnany who took it, moved it on. They'll take their time. Ronan Gagan. Paul Wild. Fionn O'Leary. O'Leary, a man you'd possibly want closer to goal when you're looking for a score. Now they will get him into a position. They're very, very good at that. Here's Stephen Smith. Smith taking on Quinn. Still Smith goes. Smith, nice movement. Just couldn't quite get his hand on it. Jack Smith there. And it goes out for a 45. Jack Smith couldn't get it under control, but he did enough to win the break.
Yeah, but great probing by Skerries. Crokes have obviously dropped everyone in behind the 45. They don't want to concede a score. Skerries know they're going to have to work that little bit harder to create something, and that's what they've done there. They pop the ball inside. They win a 45. Big kick for Cormac Rocks. Still maybe some time on the clock, but what a opportunity to tie up the game.
Rocks to level it up. Didn't catch it right, but there might be another chance for Skerries Harps. It would be harsh on them to lose this one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, really would. Like, that's their 10th wide, 3 across the second half. They missed a good bit in the first half. I think Rocks was probably a little bit concerned about how far the Crokes defenders were back from him. Big kick out from Higgins again. Can Skerries get it once more? They can.
Skerries take the mark. And now that will be moved forward.
Is the keeper coming again? Is he going to have a look at it, Rocks? Killy McGuinness is walking over to it.
Yep, keeper's coming up to it. It's Cormac Rocks. Now he's
Killy
backing
McGuinness
off.
is going to take it on.
He was jogging forward and then stopped. It is Killian McGuinness.
I think this could be it. Last kick. Big chance for McGuinness. He's been brilliant from play.
McGuinness. It has the height and elevation. And it didn't have the accuracy. Well, you wonder, is that the last chance or is there time?
Well, you don't often see Kilmacud scrambling to get a kick out of the way and to try and win it, and credit to Skerries the way they've put them under pressure here. I'm not sure how long is left on the clock. It's hard to believe they're a player down given how much Crokes have struggled to get away a kick here.
That was risky, but it worked out. Yeah, Mark O'Leary.
Probably a matter of keep the ball now, but Skerries are pushed up. The line are encouraging to push forward.
Paul
Great
Mannion.
pressure here.
Cool as ice. Paul Mannion finds O'Carroll. O'Carroll moves it down the line, trying to run onto that one for Kilmacud. Crokes is Luke O'Kelly. O'Kelly flicks it on to O'Connor. O'Connor pops it off. Can Crokes finish this one off? Back it goes to O'Kelly. Falls to O'Connor. O'Connor gives to Mark O'Leary. Mark O'Leary back outside. Clever play. Winding up and having a go is Tom Fox. And Tom Fox puts it over. And now Skerries Harps need a goal. 2 between them. Crokes lead.
Again, big score, big response. 2 have been kicked wide, 45 from Rocks and keeper. Killy McGuinness stuck one wide as well. They've had the chance to tie up the game, left both of them behind. Kilmacud working out the field despite a huge press from Skerries. They're 2 to the good. It's a goal or nothing.
Well, they've gone from needing a point to draw it to now seeking a goal to win it. Already they've scored 3 tonight. Paddy Kelly, who scored 2 of those, not on the field. Stephen Smith dropping it in. Crokes have plenty of numbers back and they have the possession. Here's Paul Mannion. You wonder, is that? Mannion down the line looking for Purcell and finding him. Purcell outside. Cian O'Connor. Look at the energy levels he's showing this late in the game. What a run, what a surge that is. Down the line it goes into the path of Luke Ward. Luke Ward is being tugged back, but he has shaken off the defender. Luke Ward to absolutely seal it, gives it to O'Leary, and Skerries get a hand in, and they cling on in there just about. Making his way away from goal is Jack Smith. Will Crokes regret not just taking the easy point there? Skerries Harps need to get it down the pitch. They're running out of time. Here's Killian McGuinness. McGuinness gets it back. If anyone can, he can. McGuinness looking for Jack Smith. Jack Smith is smothered. Ball breaks out, and it's a free out to Kilmacud Crokes.
End-to-end stuff, last couple of minutes. Skerries know they need a goal. Kilmacud know a point is probably good enough. They ferry it across to try and get a goal. Fullback does brilliant to reach his hand up, Brown and Gagan to take it away. And then it looks like on the other end, Skerries are going to get a chance to get away. Smith just loses his foot and lands on his back. Ends up fouling the ball. And I think that's it.
Kilmacud Crokes have been tested, but they have passed that test. Skerries Harps perhaps can consider themselves unlucky, but they have shown plenty tonight. Thomas Davis and St Vincent's, the other 2 teams in this group, have been forewarned. Kilmacud Crokes by 2. A deserving win?
Yeah, deserving in that obviously they've come out on top. But I mean, Skerries will look back on this and think, again, another opportunity missed. You know, they had 4 wides in the second half. They had 2 kicks in the last couple of minutes of injury time in terms of trying to tie up the game and then give themselves a chance to go and win it. They definitely had an opportunity. They'll be disappointed maybe to leave it behind them. So Crokes deserved win, and that they show great leadership, particularly to Darragh Mullen, Paul Mannion across the second half. But Skerries looking at the wide count, 11, good enough to get at least a draw out of it, not win it. So they'll be disappointed. But yeah, Crokes move forward. Chance lost by Skerries in my view.
Let's take a look at the highlights, and there were plenty of highlights.
Yeah, we could be here for a while.
We could be here till midnight.
Can we run this till tomorrow? Yeah, look, great opening I suppose that Kilmacud had. Skerries hit 4 wides in that opening period of time before they managed to get a score. But when the score did come, what a score it was in terms of the goal that came. Slipped inside. Higgins maybe could have done better on the goal line. Still did well to finish it off. But again, Crokes came back and responded instantly up the field. Hugh Kenny buries it. That was 30 seconds after the Skerries goal had come. So it was 1-4 to 1-1 at that stage, 12 minutes in. Fairness to Skerries, they came good with a couple of scores. throughout there was this constant running that was ending up with scores for Kilmacud. They just always looked to have a little bit more up front. Great ball across, was a second chance of an opportunity here for Hugh Kenny. Manages to pop it over the bar in terms of the score. Skerries did respond. Probably were slow in trying to get going, but again, great move when they were pushing through the middle. Killian McGuinness, who had a great game, kicked 3 great scores, adds a score. It was 1-2 at that stage, and then great hands here, drives through the middle, takes a step, pops it on, centre back, sticks it into the corner or the roof of the net. Great score for Skerries from Owen O'Connor Flanagan, who had a great game throughout for them. It was kind of tit for tat from there, and points came. Great hands, brilliant stuff. They went for goal chance. What a block on the line that we spoke about. Knocks it over the bar, keeps Skerries in the game, and there was potentially goal chance on it. But again, look at the run, power, pops it through. Second goal of the night, sticks it into the corner. Very different to the first finish. Does brilliantly. High ball across, well fielded by Dunn. Backs himself onto his left foot, sticks it over the bar. Then it kind of wraps up with a free from Paul Mannion at half time, leaves it 1-7 to 3-3 at half time. Mannion took off where he left it at half time. Great move, little ball popped inside, creates a little bit of space. Paddy O'Connor, who had a great game, knocks over another score, 1-9 to 3-3 at that stage. And then came a bit of a response from Skerries when it looked like there was, opportunities being lost by them. We've seen the one that flashed across the goal, block here, great win. 2-3 Crokes players going for a turns, knocks it over for another great score. That's 3-4 to 1-9 at that stage. Fearon was brilliant down on the left wing. He got hit a couple of times. He felt every one of them. Lands a monster score. And then that's backed up by another score when there was potentially goal chance on again. Well, thought about it, took a bit, then knocked it over the bar. So you're a draw game. Shortly afterwards, ball bounces over the top. 3 points to the good Skerries. Drops inside. What a finish. Great score. Really good finish. But then they backed themselves. McGuinness came again with another great score. Puts them ahead. Then there was a bit of leadership shown. Firstly, Paul Mannion going at it all the time. He was shouted at by Tom Fox to keep going, so he listened, he took it on. Then backed up again by Dara Mullen. Steadies himself, looks up, splits the post. Great score. But there was still more from Skerries. Fizzed the pass in, great hands, just pops it off. Player coming through on the run who had a great game in the shape of Paddy Kelly. But then great strength, determination from Mannion to get another score for Kilmacud. They hit 3 on the spin here. 2 from Mannion. Second one coming from a free. And then again, Dara Mullen, great leadership. Takes it on, backs himself, drives hard towards the goal, fists it over the bar. 2-14 to 3-8. You're thinking it's a done deal at that stage. But no, once again, Skerries come. This is the contentious one. Connor pulls him. There's a raised hand, comes from Adam Fearon. Referee took counsel from the linesman, and Fearon unfortunately seen the line. But that didn't stop them. They came with a great response. 2 scores. This a boomer from McGuinness. Left a point between the sides. And then there was those couple of scores where they just couldn't close it out. Dropped it wide on a couple of occasions. Drops to Fox. Looks up. Finishes the day for Crokes. Good enough to see out the game. Get a great result out of it. But, full credit to Skerries. Full credit to both teams in terms of how they approached the game. Very offensive, very open. Probably will change to the latter end of the championship, but credit to Skerries. They came with a game plan, stuck to the game plan, went after Kilmacud in all aspects of the game, and will be very disappointed going home that they don't have something more to show for it than what was a great performance.
So an enjoyable opening night in the Go Ahead Ireland Dublin Senior Football Championship. Earlier on, Nafina and Raheny coming together. Nafina with a very decent start. Raheny came back at them, but Nafina held out in the end. The second half way better than the first. Nafina no doubt happy and satisfied to get a win on opening night. Also getting a win on opening night, Kilmacud Crokes, but they were pushed all the way by Skerries Harps. 2 more games tomorrow, live on Dubs TV. We've got Ballantyre St John's against St Sylvester's, and we've got Ballyboden St Enda's against Ballymun. 2 good encounters to look forward to tomorrow on Dubs TV. Of course, they're not the only 2 games tomorrow in the Dublin Senior Football Championship. There's games across the grades, and you can find out what games are on and where they're on by going to the Dublin GAA website or the Dublin GAA social media channels. Reaction to come to this game and the game earlier on those channels that I just mentioned, so keep an eye out for them. It's been a good start to the Dublin Club Championship. We're looking forward to the rest of it here on Dubs TV. The Go Ahead Senior 1 Dublin Football Championship, and of course we'll be returning with hurling in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.